Welcome. This is Four Bad Boy Podcast. I'm your host, my Red Paper Bix. We are going nothing but brackets tonight. Brackets.
The ball
And,
is tipped. Man,
and we're
that
gonna
shit give
clown
me
the Cowboys while
goosebumps.
we at it too. We're gonna clown them. They're selectively going all in as well too. Got my guys with me. Got shot. Big
And
Straw.
there you
Mike.
are.
What the deal is, y'all? What the deal
You
is?
running for your life. You a shooting star. My
Mike.
bad.
Mike.
March Madness, man. I love it. This is like Christmas to me, man.
What presents
Yeah.
you get from Mars Madness?
I don't give a damn about presents. I'm hell Christmas. I'm giving more than I'm getting, so I don't care nothing about no damn present.
Where does Thanksgiving rank?
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably about fourth on mine.
Okay.
I thought we first all time.
Child.
Oh
Look at
man.
the bracket, man. But while we do that, let's go ahead and hit that music right quick.
Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, boys, yeah. Hold on, hold on, we them boys. Hold on, we them boys.
And as you know, with the Four Battle Boys, I'm not going to do any sponsors because we know we got a crap load of sponsors we still ain't got paid yet. So you already know what they are. If you
Uh-huh.
don't know what they are by now, just watch the show
Come
and
get
you'll
your
know.
crazy straw.
Hennessy and Coke, Crown Royal Ginger, dog. All
Yes,
right,
man.
we gonna
Most
go ahead and
immaculately go to your television.
that's Baby's room. As,
BuyNutShirt.com.
as we know, the NCAA tournament's gonna crank up tomorrow night, first round. We're gonna go ahead and put the bracket up and make it a little bit bigger for everybody to see. I'm gonna start on go ahead and get started on the East bracket right to the right of the screen. We already know Duke's gonna beat down St. Mary with or without Cooper Flag. I wouldn't even play Cooper Flag. But I don't know if you guys have picked your brackets yet, but
But we got a couple. We got an hour after the show.
no, you got to actually tomorrow at 11:59.
Okay, I'll do mine tonight.
But I'm gonna start with Mike, then go with Straw. What bracket to you seems like the easiest path, and which bracket is the hardest path?
Um, I feel like Houston got a harder path. I think Houston with their second round game, possibly with Gonzaga. Gonzaga is battle tested with Mark Few. Gonzaga got a good chance of knocking off Houston. Then you got Purdue, you got Tennessee in that pool. I mean in that bracket. Then when you look at Florida's pool, damn, I don't know why I keep saying pool. Florida's bracket, you got Kansas, you got Arkansas. Watch out for that potential second round matchup, Florida and UConn. Like Dan Hurley, this is his time of the year. So I I I will go back and say I don't think it's just one bracket that stands out. That's like a bracket of death. All of them are somewhat tough because of just it's more parity in college basketball now.
Big Straw.
Uh, I ain't really looked at them like that. But just based on what I see, I agree with Michael. Um, it's some matchups in there, man. But see, that's the beautiful thing about this year is that you got some teams that they're gonna shine bright when the bright lights come on. Um, interesting. One of the most interesting things about this week, this first round matchup, Auburn versus Alabama State, they 45 miles apart and they playing in the first round against each other. I don't even think they've scheduled each other in basketball in years. So that's going to be a real interesting one. But it's a lot of interesting matchups. This is the time of year anybody can beat anybody. So going to be interesting to watch this weekend.
Horatio, I know me and you are disappointed that Oral Roberts and Longwood did not make it this year. Am I correct to say
Longwood.
that?
Absolutely. I am a little bit disappointed. However, shout out to Comb the Lips. I'm sorry, I'm a little dyslexic sometimes. I meant Lipscomb. Shout out to Lipscomb that have to play Iowa State. Shout out to them. I really like them. So it's a couple. When you talk about brackets, I think I think Auburn has a tough bracket. I think that 8-9 matchup with against Creighton. Shout out to Jemiah Neal, my guy, Deuce nephew, that plays for Creighton. So just that's just one of the teams I want to shout out to. Grand Canyon. We were talking in the pre-production. I'm going to see the Grand Canyon, so I'm rooting against them. I'm rooting for them to play Maryland. And then that 6-11 matchup, man. You got to watch that 6-11 matchup. I'm trying to think who that 6-11 matchup. Missouri versus Drake. I just feel like, with all this Kendrick Lamar hype, I just think Drake or anybody named Drake deserves an opportunity to advance in the tournament. So I'm rooting for Drake, versus Missouri. I mean, he's been through a lot this year. So I feel like the university can, generate some buzz for him, and hopefully, Drake will be with Lipscomb, and Diddy.
Wow.
This dude is.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm to agree with y'all that the Auburn bracket. I think the weakest number 1 seed is the number 1 overall seed. That sounds crazy. I think Auburn is the weakest number 1 seed and then the number 1 overall seed. They're gonna beat Alabama State unless Janai Broome gets hurt. If Janai Broome get hurt, then there might be a chance that they only lose by 20 instead of 32 with the point spread there. Creighton, Louisville. I'm gonna say it now. Auburn will lose in the second round to Creighton.
Hey man,
Number 1 seed to go.
Creighton got a different team. They got a 7-1 kid, Cacklebreiner. Like they got a squad now.
So the thing about some of these teams, your Drakes, your Creightons, your UC San Diego's, your teams like that, those are going to be your teams that are going to have your real veterans, more junior and senior laden teams versus your freshman, sophomore, one and done, give me 2 years in college type players. So those are the teams we might just take a look at those and see exactly who's the most senior laden team. They could give anybody trouble because they don't play together longer.
Every team in the tournament is senior laden. It ain't that one and done era playing that 5 era. Them days over. Everybody got 4, 5, 6 year veteran players on these teams. Like Auburn has 9 seniors. I know Creighton has about 4 or 5. Duke is a veteran team, even though they got 3 or 4 freshmen. So everybody has, because of because of the transfer portal, everybody got a bunch of seniors. The only team that you're gonna see that's got freshmen that's playing is some of these Power 4 schools. They barely get to play. Like Duke is a rarity with Isaiah Evans, Flag, the big 7-footer. They got a bunch of freshmen out there. That's a rarity right now in college basketball. Everybody else that's in this tournament got guys 3, 4, 5 years in. So it could go either way when it comes to that because it's a senior laden college basketball now.
All right, let's go through the brackets. We're gonna start on the We're gonna start in the South bracket. I guess we all agree Auburn's gonna win that game. Louisville Creighton 8-9. That's like a 50-50. It's like a toss up because of the way they're seeded. Do you see anything that could keep Louisville out of it, Mike?
Yeah, I like Creighton, man. I mean, Jamal's nephew, Jemiah Neal, which I don't know if y'all saw last week. They about to fight him. He dunked at the end of that UConn game. They want to jump on him, but he led the way with like 19 points. He's the X factor for the Blue Jays, man. 6'7", 6'8" kid that is explosive. So I like Creighton over Louisville.
Going right here, this is where upsets happen. 5-12 and 4-13. At least one 12th seed has advanced to the second round of the tournament over the last 10 years. Do you see Michigan losing to UC San Diego, or is going to be chalk for them, or Yale beating Texas A&M? Do you see that going chalk, Straw?
I see that going chalk. I don't see how. You got a team out the Big Ten playing some really good basketball right now, plus a team out a very strong SEC basketball conference that has both of them have a lot of pride and a lot of tradition. I don't see it.
Rachel, did you get a chance to watch the selection show with all the controversy with North Carolina getting in as the last team in?
I didn't watch the show, but I did see where there was a lot of controversy about Carolina getting in. Didn't look like they deserved to be in from what I was hearing. But sometimes you got to ride the reputation. Same thing with look, if the defending champs, they are the defending champs, right? UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if the defending champs is the 8th seed, that means they probably weren't supposed to make it in. So I don't have a problem with Carolina being in. I mean, obviously y'all watch way more basketball than I do, but I don't have a problem with them being in. They normally put them in like that and then make them an 8-9 seed, and then they normally win that game. And one of them, UConn or North Carolina, is going to upset somebody in this tournament. And a 12 will be the 5, because right now the tournament wants that. So they're giving you a couple of those matchups that they feel like can win. So I don't think the streak will end this year with a 12 beating a 5.
All right, I know you just said you didn't watch a lot of college basketball, but do you feel an upset coming right here in this part of the pod with North Carolina going against Ole Miss and then Iowa State with Lipscomb, but Iowa State's number 1 player is out for the whole tournament?
Well, I see Iowa State beating against lips get combed, but I wouldn't be surprised if North Carolina beats Ole Miss. What the hell happened to Oral Roberts, man? Man, it just ain't a tournament without Oral Roberts. I mean, for real, Longwood, I get it, but you just can't go. You can't go without Oral Roberts.
You can't go without Oral. You can't go without Oral.
Yeah,
you need Oral coming.
Goodness gracious, I'm so disappointed. It's recruiting. You got to
down year.
Yeah, it was down.
You got to recruit
better.
better. They got the team up with Drake.
It was a limp year. So, okay, let's look at. I got Lipscomb beating Iowa State. I got them in that upset, and I got North Carolina going to the Sweet 16. Back to you, Mike. Sometimes we get every other year we'll get a 2 beating the 15, 2 losing to a 15. We also got Rick Pitino's son, Richard Pitino, in New Mexico, who just won Coach of the Year in his conference, and they're going against Shaka Smart and the Marquette Golden Eagles. Do you see this chalk, or you see some tomfoolery going on right here?
I like Marquette with Cam Jones, one of the best players in college basketball. Nobody knows about, man. He's about a 20-point a game guy. I like Marquette and Michigan State on that side of the bracket.
And you see Michigan State going to the Sweet 16, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I got Michigan State. They play about 9 to 10 players, and by the way, Michigan State got a star in the making. I don't know if he's coming out, but y'all remember the name, Jace Richardson. That's Jason Richardson's son, and he getting to it.
All right, we're gonna drop down to the West. This is about this is down shots way a little bit. Florida Gators, they might be the third ranked overall team, but the way they play this year, they beat Tennessee by 30 in January. They just beat Tennessee by 20. Their backcourt is a transfer backcourt, but those guys play with force. Those guys play with speed. They play with power. Those guys they look like the best team in the country. They really do look like the best team in the country to me for Florida. They're gonna beat the hell out of Norfolk State. Norfolk State, you're gonna get a T-shirt. So we thank you for your participation. UConn, Oklahoma shot just said it. UConn's a champion. They were 8 seed, and you can see an upset. Do you see them getting past Florida in the second round shot?
No, I think Florida. Like I said, I didn't watch a lot of basketball, but the basketball I did watch, I know Florida is a really, really good team. They're a complete team. They got guard play. They got big mans. They got slashers. They got athleticism, good coaching. I saw some of the game where they beat Auburn, but I still think I got Auburn still going to the Final Four and Florida. So I think Florida's going to go as far and go all the way to the Final Four.
Okay. Memphis, Penny Hardaway's team won a conference, won the AAC conference. They're going against Colorado State, very good team. Maryland against Grand Canyon. I wasn't bold enough to pick the 12 and the 13 in this round, but I think I did pick a 12. I think I picked Grand Canyon in this one here on my bracket. I think Grand Canyon's gonna beat Maryland because Maryland has lost a lot of close games in the last few weeks. They lost four games under 4 points in the last 5 games.
And Maryland is not a deep team. Their 5 starters average the most points than any team in the country as far as starters wise.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Canyon played 10, 11 players. Like they are a deep team. They coach well by Bryce Drew, who I don't expect him to be there long. Don't be surprised Grand Canyon win this game. And Colorado State against Memphis, one of Memphis's players, Tyrese Hunter, is out, so that could play a factor too. That could be a big upset.
All right, let's scroll down here. Shot say he wanted Drake to win because Drake's had a lot of losses over the last year, so he has some compassion for Drake because Drake is in their feelings. Not a lot.
They're not like that. They're not like that.
Not a lot of passion fruit going on for him, So they're trying to get on the phone and get the hotline bling to win. Because it's a culture divide to try to get on the flow. So I think Missouri they're on and off, but they had a great turnaround season this year. So I think I picked Missouri this round. Texas Tech's gonna win against UNC Wilmington unless something really drastic happen. Kansas and Arkansas. This is this part of the pod right here. Hall of Fame coach, you got Rick Pitino right here at the 2. You got John Calipari at Arkansas, and you got Bill Self right here at the 7. 3 Hall of Fame coaches in this little pod right here.
And that's some.
I want to see Pitino and Calipari. That's what I want to see. Pitino and Calipari. I picked Kansas to lose this game right here. They just didn't. They look off all year. Kansas did not look good all year. St. John's, I'm surprised by them. I would have thought I think they had 4 losses. All their losses were by combined 7 points. Am I correct on that?
Hey man, let me tell y'all something about St. John. St. John's got about 7 or 8 players, veteran, juniors, and senior type players that can.
What are they doing? What they can do?
I don't know. He went dark like his skin.
I will say this about that 7-10, the Kansas Arkansas game. Calipari's been trying to get revenge on Bill Self since the national championship game. Chris Douglas Roberts and Joey Dorsey and Derrick Rose and all those guys. Traumas for 3. So that's going to be. I think I'll take Arkansas in that one because there's a revenge factor in that one.
Yeah, I picked Arkansas and St. John's. I got St. John's going to the Elite 8. They're not beating Florida unless some of that part of that backcourt gets knocked out. Let's go to the East. I think this is probably the easiest bracket out of all of them. Duke should get past Mount St. Mary's, then Mississippi State and Baylor. Baylor did win the championship 4 years ago. They have not reached those heights since. I don't see Duke losing the first weekend. Oregon and Liberty University, my alma mater, Liberty. They're gonna get the hell beaten out of them by Oregon.
Don't say that. Don't do that yet now. Tell you.
Dana Altman is a tournament coach. Dana Altman, he's good for a Sweet 16 and an Elite 8. He's good for one of those. He's good for that. Arizona, Akron. Akron had a good year. Arizona's been on and off. Caleb Love transferred from North Carolina. Did we talk about the story what happened to Caleb Love and R.J. Davis a couple years ago?
About that girl?
Mm-hmm. fought up girl that why he left. Either anybody on here think upset at this part of the pie right here with the 5-12 and the 4-13?
I like Liberty. Boy, Trey Johnson on one tonight, boy.
I,
Lottery pick.
I'm not a fan of Arizona. Like I saw, most of the stuff I saw was doing the conference tournaments, and Arizona didn't really impress me. So I could see Akron winning that game. Akron got a point guard over there that looked pretty good from what I saw. And I got VCU beating BYU, by the way.
We're gonna get to that one right there. I think I picked VCU because BYU, I don't trust them either.
Man, y'all ain't watch BYU. I'm telling you, BYU is 9-10 deep and they can go. VCU ain't really been really that great all year. They ain't really beat no top level team. But BYU has a lottery pick, Edgar Denham, some guy from Russia, about 6'8", 6'9". They got Richie Saunders. BYU got a squad, man. I got BYU in a couple of my brackets going to the Sweet 16.
Ooh, being Wisconsin.
BYU about 10 deep. They good. They can play.
They're gonna be
The
Wisconsin.
boy's good. The boy's is good.
And let me tell y'all something. BYU next year when college basketball get in, BYU is gonna be a top 5, top 10 team in the country because the number one player in America, AJ DeBancy, is going to BYU, and they're gonna be loaded.
Yeah, next year. This year they gonna get whooped.
They straight now. Okay.
Yeah, next year. Have you seen him at what? Is he all that?
He is. I mean, of course, you see him in an AAU tournament, and the level of AAU playing is damn near like college. He is he that guy. He's gonna go in there. He's one and done without a question. Yeah, he's for real.
Okay, because I think I made a comment a while ago. Being down here in Broward County, I feel like we officiate the best basketball in the country. And I've seen Carlos and Cameron and Caden Boozer up close, and I would like to see a 12th grader guard Cameron Boozer. I would love to see that. And when you think about the players that have come out of Broward County in the last 5 to 6 years, it's a plethora. And I'm curious to see how he looks. I've seen some of the highlights. I don't know how he looks in the system. I think he's tall. I don't think when you're 6'9" like he is, then I'm looking for some Cooper Flag. And when I say Cooper Flag, not because he's the young person, but I'm looking for that versatility. I'm looking for some Lamar Odom, some KD in you. And I don't see that in AJ Bombastic.
Nah, he ain't no KD in him, but he's got a mixture of some Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum. I'll tell you that.
He reminds me of what's the kid that ended up that he started? I think he was going to play for Memphis.
Wiseman.
The young kid that was out of Philly or somewhere like that. His dad created a damn school for him to go to.
Amani Bates.
Yeah, Imani Bates. He give me Imani Bates vibes.
He's a little bit better than Amani Bates.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's go down to the bottom part of the pod. Alabama, Robert Morris, St. Mary's, and Vanderbilt. Anybody say upset here? The way Alabama's played, they made the Final Four last year. They lost to UConn by 15, and a little history fact: the UConn won every game in the tournament by double digits last year, and Alabama scored 80, and UConn still scored like 99.5 on it, if I remember correctly. Mike will probably fact check me on that.
You're right.
I think Alabama can make a run here. I don't think they're gonna beat Duke unless if Cooper Flag is not right. If he's still ailing from that sprained ankle, I can see Alabama going to the Final Four. But I think if they're smart, they'll sit him this first round game and to go from there. Do we see an upset with Vanderbilt or Robert Morris, guys?
I don't see one.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving there. I think this is the last part of the bracket, the Midwest bracket, with Houston playing SIUE. I don't even know what school that is. Southern Illinois University.
That's Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
These
Edward got
names, boy.
his own town, huh?
Yeah.
Shout out to Edward.
These names, boy.
The difference between Houston this year versus Houston last year, the defense is still awesome. They have some shooting this year. So, what hurt them last year, Snead got hurt, I believe, in the second round. That got knocked down in the Sweet 16 last year. They have some shooting this year. They're a little bit more consistent shooting, so they can make a little bit of a run. But I don't have them going to the Final Four. My pick's coming out the bottom of the bracket. Gonzaga and Georgia. This is the lowest I've seen Gonzaga ranked in a couple of years, Mike.
Yeah, but Gonzaga they still straight, man. They got Graham Mike. They got Nebahart. Like they still got some guys out there, man. Gonzaga, I love Georgia there, but Gonzaga gonna run through Georgia. And then I think Gonzaga gonna get Houston fits. Not necessarily winning, but I think it's gonna be a closer game than some people think.
All right, so go to the bottom part of the par with the 4-13, the 5-12. Clemson as a 5 seed going against McNeese. Purdue against High Point. High Point is North Carolina. I saw, I think Clark Kellogg had Clemson going to the Final Four on what multiverse?
Yeah. 2B.
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 Roku.
or not 2B.
Sure.
Do we see guys? Do we see upset down here as a part of the bracket?
I don't.
Yeah, I got Will Wade and McNeese State beating Clemson.
Will Wade used to coach LSU, right?
Yeah, he used to coach LSU, got in some trouble, went to McNeese State, and today he signed on to be the new head coach at NC State. So he's back. He done made it back to the big time.
And they still let him coach in the tournament?
As far as I know, yeah.
Wow, that's
Wow.
All right, so Purdue, as you know, they played they were the runoff last year, lost to UConn. They got knocked out the previous year. They got knocked out in the first round. The second 1 seed to lose in the first round. Let's go down to Illinois. Their opponent has yet to be determined because their playing game is tonight. Then we got my team, Kentucky, going against Troy. Kentucky the last 3 years have been knocked out in the first round. You know me, I'm a fan of a team, but I'm gonna keep it real. Mark Pope has did an awesome job this year, considering he had to rebuild the whole team from scratch from what Calipari had. I have Kentucky going to the Sweet 16. They're gonna lose to Tennessee. I know I got to go to Elite 8. I got to beat Tennessee because Rick Barnes. I could trust him. I trust a kid with ADHD and eating Takis at 9 o'clock in the morning more than I trust Rick Barnes.
That's saying a lot there.
Bottom of the bracket: Tennessee, Wofford, UCLA, Utah State. Guys, we see an upset anywhere here?
I don't see anything there. I mean, unless you just want to count Kentucky's recent run as just bad luck. And does that streak continue? I don't see it continuing, but still, anything is possible. Like Kevin Garnett says.
Hey, real quick before we go on, Faye, the question for the group real fast. Ratio, college basketball growing up versus college basketball now. What is the big difference you see? Has it been the one and dones? Is it like what has been what has been a big difference that you've seen in guys in college basketball from your growing up to now?
Two things. One, everybody can play. Like everybody can play. You know, there used to be, a drop off after, say, the McDonald's All-Americans, maybe the top 25, top 30, there was a drop off. Now, you get a kid that's a top 50 kid, top 70 kid. That kid can go just as well as that top, say, 20, top 50 kid, top 25 kid. That kid can go, right? When you start talking about trainings, kids understanding at the time that they got to put in the gym, NBA guys or high-level college guys going back to their hometown, spreading the game. It used to be the game was for the people with the resources and the elite athletes. Now the game is for everybody, and anybody that got some size and some athleticism can tap in the game and be great. Same thing we talking about this kid AJ Bombastic. His parents aren't in the NBA, but somebody tall, somebody got him in the gym early, and then you look at where he is now. So and so you got that guy who's just as good as the Cameron Boozer, whose dad was in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is what we've always said: if you can't shoot, you can't play in today's game. Today's game is all about drive, kick out, 3-point bucket. You ain't got no shooters, and we've been saying this, for years, from the time the Warriors was together when they had the most prolific shooters on the same team. If you can't shoot the 3 ball, you can't make it. You can't go far in the game, and your team can't win if you can't shoot the 3 ball. Period. Got to be able to shoot the 3 ball.
What you think, Ryan?
A lot of I remember them being like, I agree totally with Horatio said, because everybody can play. Back in them days, man, you would latch on to a player that was hyped and you would ride him. Even if they end up being slow on the next level, you still would latch on to a player. Everybody remembers Eric Montross. Played at North Carolina, took his team to a national championship. They beat the Fab Five, but you knew the Fab Five too. They were just players, man. Like it was just different then. You had your Grant Hills, Christian Leitners, your Hurleys, then the UNLV team, you knew that team. They had early favorites. You had teams that you would watch just because of who they were. Now there's a little more parity, which is a good thing in college basketball, where you can watch any game and it's going to be entertaining. You're not going to have like 5 teams and spread out. You're going to have a good NCAA basketball tournament here. And the thing about it is that you'll have people that aren't talked about that are going to turn into stars. You've always had that, but now more than ever, because of like Shot was saying, because of everybody plays. But now you got somebody that may not be talked about that's going to show up and probably show out, and his name is going to get talked about, and he may end up making some money after that.
What about you, Fade?
I agree with everything everybody said. We go back a little bit further to the Rebels. I knew every player. We talked about it multiple times on the show. We stayed up late to watch those games because that was support meant television. You go back a little bit further. You go back to Hank Gathers, Len Bias, Raleigh Massimino. Go back that far, and if you fast forward now, when Duke is even affected by players doing one and done in '99 with Corey Maggette and Elton Brand. And Duke was as a program, those guys stayed off 4 years. When I saw that, I'm thinking like, this is different. So I know Shot said you had to adjust to the times. And 2 years later, they won a championship with Jason Williams and Mike Dunleavy Jr., Boozer. Those guys stayed for 3 years and left. Now you get to where you don't have to go to college to play basketball. You go to G League Unite. You go overseas for a year. Because Brandon Jennings said, "I'm not going to waste my time not getting paid for college basketball.
One to do it.
I'm gonna go overseas for a year, and then come back and get drafted." I think
it was somebody. He started a small trend. I think it was him. One of them guards that played for Phoenix, Bledsoe.
Let's play.
No, What was the other guard that played with him? They were both two small guards in the backcourt at the same time. It had to be about 10 years ago. Oh my gosh. I think he was straight out of high school, though, if I remember. It'll come to me.
Yeah,
They got rid of the G League Ignite. That's over with.
no, I'm
They
just saying
canceled
as
that
an
program.
example. No, I'm just
Oh
saying
yeah,
as an
yeah.
example.
Yeah, they
As an
canceled it
example,
because of players getting money now in college, so they don't need the
you don't need it.
they don't need a G League Ignite. College basketball now versus then, it's all about the one and done. Well, let me start over. I think Kevin Garnett really messed up college basketball. And I know Moses Malone did it back in the 70s, but Kevin Garnett has started a 30-something year trend over the last 30 years when he went pro out of high school. So when he went pro out of high school, that's when you start seeing the Kobe's, LeBrons, and all that. Could you imagine them dudes playing college basketball? Like LeBron, Kobe, the Dwight Howard, Jermaine O'Neal. Garnett and Garnett really was about to go to college. I think they said he was going to Michigan. Garnett was headed to college if he ain't got the grade.
It was
But
Michigan and
Garnett,
South Carolina, one of them two.
yeah, he's from Malden, South Carolina. That was what's the name home, but I don't know if y'all, Faye, you might not remember Lil D. He's always be a pretty boy on campus. That was his homeboy, Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
But anyway, Kevin Garnett started this trend to what you see in college basketball now. And it has affected the NBA. It has affected that's what the G League now. Because of him going early, part of the problem pre-Kevin Garnett or during that era, you knew all the players like y'all were talking about. You knew about the Fab Five. You knew about Duke, North Carolina. These dudes are staying in college 2 and 3 years. But the thing that's so crazy about it now, when the draft come in the NBA, they want players young, but college want players old. Now let that make sense. When the NBA draft start ratio, Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Trey Johnson, all 4 of them are freshmen, are probably be the first 4 picks of the draft. But then college coaches, they want players that's a junior, a senior. And a lot of these guys, like for an example, let's look at some guards that's been in college for a minute.
RJ
Caleb
Davis.
Love at Arizona. Caleb
RJ
Love
Davis.
might not get drafted. Mark Sears at Auburn might not get drafted. Broome at Auburn, he may be a lottery pick or go first round. And it seems like the longer you stay in college, the tougher it is for you to get drafted. But freshmen still dominate the draft. They do. Freshmen and international players dominate the draft.
So yeah, I agree with that because what the college game has said is we're not trying to model ourselves after the NBA anymore. We're not trying to get guys NBA ready. We're trying to win a championship because there's so much money as a college coach to win a championship that I don't have to try to get you ready for the NBA. I'm going to get you ready I just want to win a championship or win a conference title here. So in order to do that, I need veteran leadership, guys that just what you're talking about. I want the guy that's not thinking about going to the league right now. I want the guy that's thinking about winning this championship and being a college hero. I can't because it's only 4 or 5 every year of the Cooper Flaggs and the Ace Bailey. It's only 4 or 5 of them every year. The rest of those guys at the end of the lottery, they'll be lucky they get playing time. So as a college coach, if I can't get a Cooper Flagg, then give me a bunch of 4th and 5th year seniors and let's rock. But we talked about that before. Remember Atwater years ago, everybody, before we got on the podcast, went on what's the football team that used to do that? Remember we used to talk about it? Boise State. Every 4 years, Boise State was a problem.
Yep.
Right? They had them 5-year seniors, and they was whooping up on them freshman 5-stars. Now, in the next year, that freshman 5-star going to get his body up and all of that, but every 4 years, every 4 or 5 years, Boise State was a problem. And that other team, who was the team that had the defensive guru for a coach? What team was that?
I don't remember.
Clemson?
Well, I sound like I know what you're talking about.
Was it Kansas State or somebody like that?
It might have been.
Yeah, Kansas State football team. So it's the blueprint been out.
Hey, you know what's about to be crazy, Ryan, Fade, Damon? I mean, Ratio. You know what's going to be crazy with the draft? Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey went to Rutgers. They could possibly be the number 1 and 2 picks of the draft. They didn't make the tournament. They didn't even have a winning record.
Mm-mm.
Rutgers finished, I think, like 15 and 17. But you're gonna have 2 of the top 3 players drafted. Now, when the last time you heard of that? A team having 2 picks in the top 5. That's some Kentucky stuff, man. 2 picks in the top 5, and they not even make the tournament or have a winning record. That shows you just shows you the difference of college basketball now. You got to go get these transfer.
Yep, it's just a different thing. This in addition to the one and done, the recent NIL thing, and the recent addition and evolution of the transfer portal has made the game different. You had, like we were talking about, Love in Arizona was playing for North Carolina. So, it's just different. It's just a different game. We didn't hear about a lot of transfers back in them days when Faye was talking about UNLV, the Fab Five in Michigan, the Christian Laettner, Grant Hill led Duke Blue Devils. We didn't hear nothing about a lot of transfers. If they were transferring, it was the 7th, 8th man. He didn't get a lot of clock, and he was actually going somewhere where he could get a little bit more clock, and he was actually get his name mentioned in the local paper. But you didn't hear about nobody that was a starter really transferring back then. That's a huge thing too, Michael.
Well, the difference back then, and me and Rachel talk about it because we kind of played ball with this dude. So, like for an example, we had a dude named Marco Wright. He was at University of Cincinnati. He was a star at Statesboro High School. Marco transferred all the way out of D1 and came to Fort Valley. So a lot of transfers back then, you kind of transfer out, went to NAIA school, went to D2. Now with the way the transfer portal, and then another thing that's different, you had to sit out. You had to sit out
Yeah.
again if you transferred back then.
Right.
Mhm.
Now you don't.
It wasn't no playing right away. You could literally have a dude play for 4 different schools his whole college career. That could really happen.
Hey, I know I'm a little late, but shout out to Corey Green, came on a couple of minutes ago. I just checked the chats. Shout out to C Green. What's going on, my guy? So these 2 guys from Rutgers, and you about to get my totally uneducated opinion. I'm getting Markelle Fultz vibes from these dudes, right? And again, when I say uneducated, I haven't seen them, but just off the top of my head, how is it that you 2 are supposed to be the cream of the crop of the draft and y'all can't make the tournament?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you to individually lead an NBA team. Again, before everybody jump in, I know Atwater, but they this and this and this and that. I haven't seen neither one of them play. I've heard of Dylan Harper, and I just heard of Ace Bailey about a week ago. But I want to know how, if you 2 are that good, we can't make the tournament.
I think it's got a lot to do with it too. I think if Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, let's say, go to Kentucky, go to Kansas, go to some of them schools, I think that'd have been different. I think Rutgers is not a blue blood or a big time power in college basketball, and I know that may not mean too much, but I think that's part of the problem. They followed the coach up there, and it went from there. So I just think they went to the wrong school. I think that if they would have went to Georgia, any of them other kind of schools, it might have been different. But I get what you're saying. You looking at the fact of, hey, if y'all so good, y'all can't even get to the tournament. So I guess in shot eyes, it don't matter what school you go to, y'all still didn't get, you can't get them to the tournament.
So is it a matter of them being uber talented and everybody else being terrible? I mean, what is it? Because that's
I ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you a question with a question. When is the last time anybody on here has heard of Rutgers having a player go to the league, or Rutgers even making the NCAA tournament? I'll wait.
Shaheen Holloway.
Shaheen Holloway went to Seton Hall.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
What was the question? I missed it.
When is the last time you heard of Rutgers making a tournament or having a player go to the league? Name me
I
one player y'all
understand
heard
that.
from Rutgers go to the league.
I understand that part. But when was the last time you heard of two players going 1-2 in the draft?
From the same school?
Yes.
Kentucky did it with Anthony Davis and I think Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Exactly. So why can't I hold them to that standard? Unless this coach is just Mr. Magoo reincarnated, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to. It just came to me. I don't know why I said that. I'm trying to figure out how two of the potential number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft can't make the tournament.
They can't will their team. They can't pull them kicking or screaming, nothing. They just in here. That's why I say everybody else on that team must be god awful.
Hell,
Right.
Ben Simmons.
The way
was the number
it
one
make
player.
it seem like they could have got them 2 and 3 and some of us, and we could have made the tournament. We
Ben
got
Simmons,
some athletic ability.
the year he was a freshman, Ben Simmons didn't make it either. He didn't make the tournament.
Right, but it's we talking about the top 2 players. Like I get it if it's one, you know, we can get you know, we can take the ball out of one player hands, which is what part of my reason for Markelle Fultz. But we got 2 guys. I need to know how you guys like what was Rutgers' record? Where's Anatoly, by the way? What shout out to my guy
They're
Anatoly.
15 and 17. They're 15 and 17 this year.
15 and 17.
Only 2 double digits were Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. They're the only 2 players average double digits the whole season.
Well, there it is. Everybody else is not good. There it is.
Next close play was 8 points for Somerville, the center. He didn't lead the team in rebounding. Ace Bailey led the team in rebounding.
Ace Bailey didn't lead the team in rebounding?
Ace
He
Bailey led
did.
the team in rebounding.
Okay.
Well, he's 6'10", so they got him at 6'10". Ace Bailey. I don't know if that accurate. Is that accurate, Mike? He's 6'10".
No, I don't think that dude no 16, man. Ace Bailey about 6'7", 8". I've seen him in person too. He about 6'7", 6'8", but maybe he's grown since he been at Rutgers, so that's possible.
Yeah, they got him listed at 6'10".
So you got the inside outside game, like come on. I refuse to believe, and it could be that this coach is really that bad. But I'm sorry, you got two of the top 2 players potentially in the NBA draft, and you telling me we can't get a winning record?
Hey, but college basketball done changed too, Shot. Remember, we just talked about how it's become more veteran oriented.
You're right.
4 and 5 year players.
You're right. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're talking about the 1 and 2 pick potentially. Like when you ain't say 2 lottery picks, you ain't say 2 first rounders. You said
You're saying the top 2 players. The top
these
2
are the
players.
top 2 players, right? These 2 guys are better than Cooper Flagg. And
I said they could be
that's
2 of the
a
top 2.
lie.
I said them, Cooper Flagg, and Trey Johnson, or could go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the draft.
Right. I'm not saying you put them up there, but the fact that they're top 2. But again, whoever says that, I don't watch much basketball. I know what I see when I see Cooper Flagg. How the funny guy on the new. That's an effing lie. If you telling me it's some people out there better than Cooper Flagg, that's a lie. That's a whole lie.
And the truth can't be found.
I'm talking about he the best thing that come from the mountains of Caucasus in a long time.
Boy, you ain't never lie about that, Rachel.
It's him and Larry.
Him and Larry.
It's him and Larry.
Hit the French League.
That boy ain't nothing to play with.
Not nowadays. Hit for French League.
So if you telling me this kid, Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey, is on the same level as Coop, that's my name for him, not Coop. It's only two Caucasus people that I like in the last 5 years. That's Coop and what's my man? What I call it? Big Trail. Coop and Big Trail.
Trevor
Coop
Lawrence.
and Big Trail. Trail ain't did nothing in Jacksonville, but he was Big Trail to me. Big Trail. Shout out that championship coach Jamon.
2-time championship coach.
2-time championship coach. I apologize.
All right. This part of the show, I want to give everybody's final four picks. I have mine on the screen there. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see them. I might change it, but right now I made it too big. Let me go down a little bit. I got Michigan State, Florida on one side of the bracket. I got Alabama and Houston on the other side. I got Alabama and Florida in the championship game, and I got Florida winning the national championship.
Okay.
This is a four battle boy bracket. It's a tradition unlike any other. I just placed the password and the link to the
what is it like, the Rose Bowl?
More like
The
Cereal
master
Bowl.
tradition like no other.
Any other.
Oh, that's the master. I thought that was the Rose Bowl. My fault.
That's the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. My bad.
So everybody watching want to participate in the bracket. We have the link in the chat and the password to get into the to the group. It made me put a password. I didn't want to put one on there, but it made me put one there. Mike, who your final four?
I'm going with from the East. I'm going with Duke. I'm going with my Gonzaga in the other bracket.
Whoa. Gonzaga?
Yeah, Michigan State. And I'm going with Creighton. I got Michigan State and Duke in the finals. And I think Duke can cut the nets.
He did. He picked out on low seed just to get Duke in the championship.
Yeah, that's possible.
What about you, Ryan?
Oh man, I hadn't had a chance to really study the bracket. I'm about to do it so we can get in this group. So for right now, give me chalk, all chalk, every one seed making it to the final four. Give me Auburn as your national champion.
Only time all four number one seeds made the final four was in 2008 with UCLA, Memphis, Kansas,
And North Carolina. That's the year Mario Chalmers.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. We talked about that already. We've talked. I don't care.
Shot, you got your picks yet? Or you still
That year don't even exist. They say don't do.
I got my picks in. I got 3 of the 4 number one seeds. I really believe that Auburn is probably going to cut down the nets, but I'm gonna stay true to who I am. I'm gonna go with the best player on what I believe is the best team. I feel like if Cooper Flag come to play, ain't nobody messing with Duke, and I'm not a Duke fan. But I got 3 number one seeds: Auburn, Florida, Duke, and then I got Kentucky going up in there.
Hey, he got my team. I don't have faith in him.
Wow.
That's my team. I don't even have faith in them make it to the final four.
Who?
You got more faith in my team than I do. Kentucky.
Who is that? Who's your team? Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Kentucky.
Yeah, I like them too.
I like Kentucky. I think they got a better road. I think they can beat Houston. I don't even know if Houston gonna make it that far. I think they'll beat Gonzaga, but I ain't 100% sure that's not a bad pick for Atwater.
Mm-mm. All right, folks in the chat, y'all watching the show. The link is at the top. Password's there. Before we go, I want to get into some talk a little bit of NFL free agency. I want to clown these Cowboys like I promised at the beginning of the show. Mike,
they can't say nothing.
Put you on the big screen. You look on the big screen. Put your big screen right there.
Man, I ain't paid attention to no free agent. It's been all college basketball, so I don't even know what you about to say. Because I ain't paying attention to no football. What they do?
Why Michael Parsons mad at Dexter Lawrence? Not Dexter Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence.
I hadn't heard nothing about it. Like what's going on?
He went to Seahawks.
Who, DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yeah,
he went to the Seahawks and talked bad about him out on the way out.
Said, I'm leaving because I ain't gonna win here anyway. I might well leave. Michael Parsons said, shut the hell up. And then he came back and said, if you want podcasts, maybe we win some more. He said, your mama a hoe. This how
Hey,
your
which
mama-
one of y'all Moon talking about in these comments, man? He called somebody. I
don't know
think
who
he talking about Atwater.
I'm about to say, because he talking about me.
I can't see the comment.
Hold on. There you go.
Oh man. Oh boy, the trip. Mm-mm. Who?
Shut your-
You, he's talking you.
You better be lucky I can't curse on here.
He's talking about
Garden tool lad. Oh man.
But no, I ain't seen nothing about it. Last thing I seen something about football, it was Jamar Chase and T. Higgins got paid or whatever, but I ain't paid attention to no football.
Hey, so yeah, let me comment on that piece. Shout out to them boys for getting they go to hell, Moon. Shout out to them boys. Well, that's my brother there. Shout out to them boys for getting their money. Listen, I saw one little piece on ESPN, which I rarely even watch TV, and they said all of the DBs in the league are mad that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins got their money, including the DBs in Cincinnati. Because ain't no more money, man. Ain't no more money to improve the team. Is Joe Burrow, them two dudes, and what y'all boys doing on Sunday? If you're ever in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, go ahead and try that DB for the Bengals. They holding open trials every Wednesday and Thursday. Every Wednesday and Thursday.
You hear me? And the reason why he got that, T. Higgins got him money. He fired his agent and hired Jamar Chase agent. So
they got the package deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was smart. Go ahead and pay one guy, split it up a little bit. You know, I mean, hey, you gotta respect them. You gotta respect everybody involved. Joe Burrow for keeping, for saying, hey, don't, keep my guys here. Cincinnati for, catering to the fans. But make sure them same fans understand that they can't stop kids from crossing the street. Okay, that's my signature line when people don't play defense. You can't stop kids from crossing the street when you finna get pennies on the dollar for DBs. Okay, I mean, Ellis can't help you right now. He's an assistant principal in the middle school. He can't help you because that's who y'all about to resort to, calling Ellis and Ty Poole now. I'm just saying. And Bernie Clark. Shout out to Bernie Clark.
And Nick Harper. Don't forget Nick Harper.
And Nick Harper. But I'm going to pick Bernie over Nick because Bernie is an intramural championship quarterback. Shout out to Bernie Clark. Tell Fred saying the lotion up. They might be calling a hitman to come play DB in Cincinnati. Rest in peace, Buddy Best.
Sure, I ain't got nothing else, guys. Wednesday we're gonna come on and see how the brackets looking. Who's gonna be in last place? Who's gonna be in first place? Because we know March Madness is gonna be madness. We're gonna see. I'll be at work with YouTube TV on the background trying to catch some games.
Hey, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we ain't doing nothing. We ain't going outside. We ain't eating lunch. I'm holding their ass hostage tomorrow.
Yeah, I will be at home. I will be good and at home by then. Good and at home. Got a little early shift. Come on in. Set it up as if it's the weekend.
Yeah, I'm working on the master schedule.
Y'all boys be good, man.
All right, so
we out. We'll see y'all next week.
Later.